gotta just swap something around here. But hi, welcome to Game Master Monday, the closing Q&A for Sherwood. It's been a ride. It's been a hell of a ride through time and space and Britain.
Ah, yes. Which is where time and space happens.
Exactly.
Well,
no other place experiences
Notoriously.
time or space.
Correct.
First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. Everybody has been such a delight to have on the show. But we're just going to go ahead and just dive right into all of our little questions and answers here. I guess.
Wait, who are we?
I have no fucking clue. I mean, we have the names in the stream. You can read. But I'll go ahead and introduce everybody.
All right. Fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
No, you're right. You're
No, now
hosting.
Jenny has to introduce all of us herself. None of us get to introduce. Jenny has to do all of it.
Ah, good.
A memory.
Actually, no, I don't want to do that anymore.
Okay.
All right, we'll just go ahead and start at the top left and work our way around. Hi, I'm Jenny. I ran this whole thing for the past 4 sessions. Usually I am part of Game Master Monday as a whole, but I also run this little side thing called Fire Emblem Fallen Kingdom over on Red Echo Games at youtube.com. We're in the thick of it. Let me tell you, things are happening. I can't spoil too
chat.
much. But hey. What? I'll kill you.
I was going to say, chat, tell Jenny happy birthday.
Oh. It's not until tomorrow. Come on.
Happy early birthday.
Tomorrow, happy birthday.
I will be messaging you at midnight if I'm awake.
Well, damn.
Perfect.
Hell yeah.
Now everyone knows I'm old.
About time.
Yeah, it took me a while. My knees don't like me anymore. And
Took her a while to be a Taurus.
Mood. It's a mood.
Well, next up we have Dusty then.
Hi, I'm Dusty. I'm also a Taurus. I was gonna say some more astrology stuff, but I don't know anything about it. I'm here. I played Salvador Antonio de la Rosa. Was that the whole name? I think it was Salvador Antonio. Yeah, Salvador Antonio de la Rosa.
God, I hope so.
God, I know, right? Just a mess of a person that pretended to like have everything together. They didn't. You saw them. They got a flamethrower. They blew up a clock tower. You know.
Period. Happens to the best of us.
Dude, spoilers.
God, I love Sherwood.
Where's the Q&A?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched
This is
Sherwood
Spoiler
yet.
City.
Yeah, I don't
Just
know
go
what's
back in
happening
time.
yet. You're waiting for the anime adaptation.
I am.
True.
I really am.
You get it in the Sunday paper and the funnies. That's how Sherwood's going to be.
Okay, guys, we have an hour. We can't do bits.
Grant,
I take a bit, anyways.
Grant, talk about you.
Hi, I'm Grant. I'm a Cancer. I played Kay Penwick, the secret knight of the Round Table, brother to Arthur. I normally run Game Master Monday, so I'm glad to be here and not where Jenny's sitting. Go, Rosie.
Hi, I'm Rosie. I played Lady Meredith Emberwise.
Well, there you go.
AKA Meritt. I am a Virgo Sun, Libra Moon, but my rising depends on how you calculate it. It could be Aries or Taurus. And also Libra, Mars, and Mercury, and Venus.
Dude, that's shit.
Taylor, go!
Are you saying astrology's made up?
Yeah, largely.
Whoa.
Go ahead, Taylor.
Hey, I'm Taylor, aka SpunkyTaylor. I'm a Black variety content creator. I play Teddy. She her pronouns. My astrology is Sun Aries, Moon Scorpio, Rising Libra. My personality test is ENFJ.
Me too! Oh my god, twinsies!
Let's go.
Is this what we're doing?
Lots of acronyms today.
We gotta keep on adding on to it.
Right, we'll just keep putting more
Yeah,
things
Jonas,
on
you
top
better
of
know
it.
your Enneagram.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even know my Enneagram.
Let me pull up my 23andMe real quick.
Jonas, bring us home.
Hi, I'm Jonas Tintenseher. I played Hypatia d'Amour. I was on the original one-shot. Was delighted to come back. I'm a Virgo. Don't know the rest of it. I think I'm a helper Enneagram.
Oh, you do
been
know
a
your
long-
Enneagram.
It's been a long time since I did that, but I did do that once.
I am fighting every urge to go on an ADHD side quest about Enneagrams right now, just so you all I know.
I don't.
Just hold it. Hold it for an hour, Grant.
I'll blow up later.
Explode later.
Anyway.
Today, knights and thieves.
Knights, thieves.
Well, we have a list of questions here submitted by fans of the show, and we're gonna swing right into it. They started with one for me, which was fun. It says, how did you come up with the idea of killing knights and going through all of the different periods of time? Let me tell you, this was an accidental idea. I had at least 3 different plans I wanted to do for this particular system. The original one was like a one-shot that we did a while back where it was just like, oh, Merlin has come forward in time and has brought King Arthur with him, so go kill Merlin and fix the timeline. And then my brain was sitting here like, okay, so Grant wants us to do Sherwood again, and I really want to do Sherwood again with this original cast because these guys were a fucking blast. And
I came from the studio with a memo like, hey, you gotta do Sherwood, and it was your idea.
You walked up to me with a note that I wrote and stapled it to my own forehead, like.
And I said, no, you do.
Grant's bathroom exploded in his defense.
That's true. That's a real thing that happened to me. Yeah. I had a home emergency and couldn't be in the original one shot, and then I got FOMO.
That's right. And then you wanted to join in this time, so you did. So
and I brought Dusty and Taylor with me because I needed someone to rein Rosie in, and it didn't work. That's a joke. I brought them in because they're my friends, and I love them.
Grant, look at me. I could have had a gun, and I didn't.
That was you reining yourself in for sure.
I had a gun.
Taylor had a gun.
And Dusty had a flamethrower.
But the point being, it was like maybe a month or 2 before we actually had to go live, and Grant and I had like a heart-to-heart call, and I was sitting here like, man, I don't know what the fuck to do for this. And he was like,
and that's why you have Hell Whalers.
And that's why we had Hell Whalers. And basically it just boiled down to we had this little call like, well, what was fun about the first one? I was like, the first one was like, well, it was just kind of like going through and shooting the shit and talking about, ancient British legends and things. So I was like, well, what if we spun the table a little bit? What if, Merlin comes back and sends everybody through time again? And then everything just kind of evolved from there. Like you had your Sherlock Holmes. It just all perfectly fit, like your past, present, and future kind of dealio. And I think that's kind of ended up where it ended up being. We have a question for Dusty and Taylor next. And I guess by extension Grant as well. This game was an expanding of the original one-shot where it was just, the 4 of us. What was it like joining in on the existing story? I guess we'll start with Dusty, then Taylor, then end with Grant.
Sure.
It was honestly like jumping into this story, kind of getting the vibe of the original. It was fun. It was chaotic. I think you get any number of these people that are wildly talented in a room together. It's going to be chaotic in a good way, but chaos nonetheless. But it was great. Like we said, we were from Arthurian times. Like I came in with this whole idea of a character. Episode 2, I got a gun. It all went out the window at that point. But it was great. It was fun. I think the chemistry from the original crew was there, and then we were able to kind of all of us we all fit in our spots very easily, and I think it turned out very fun.
Well, on my end, it turned out really great. It's like I enjoy it. We mowed very well together. Thank you guys for making us feel like at home, just like we felt like we was already part of the crew since the beginning. Yeah.
I mean, I'm with them. I produced the show, but I wasn't. My fingerprint wasn't on the OG episode. Jenny recorded, produced it, like she edited it, she did everything for it, and I just remember her telling me what the last minute idea was going to be for the one shot and being really jealous that I couldn't play it because I love Arthurian shit. But no, I feel like episode 1 you have the 3 people who have their existing chemistry and they're roping us newbies along for the ride. So I think like a part of it's like we're looking for our spots, like where do I jump in? What does my character say? What's the vibe here? And then once you basically clue in by like midway through episode 1 as, oh, this is action movie rules. No thoughts, just go. Fuck it. Then I think it really starts to click what we're doing around here. So yeah, I mean, Jenny's a good GM. She GMs large groups all the time and kept us going, even though we were all a bunch of 6 main characters all looking for a spotlight, and she kept us going.
You're warrior cats.
Thank you for yes and yes.
Yeah.
I figured that there's 2 ideas of DMing. There's yes and no but. And this was very much a yes and adventure the entire way through.
Yes, I got a gun.
I like a yes but. I do enjoy a yes but.
True. But what about no and?
What about maybe
Holding in
however?
my thought. Maybe.
Maybe, however.
Yeah, no one ever asks how and.
How
How and why and
How is and?
where's and?
Our next question, I'm a little regretful that we don't have Janelle, but Janelle had other obligations today, so Janelle is in our hearts.
Yeah.
But for the original crew, what was it like having 3 new characters in the party?
The opposite question.
So very, very early on, before Hell Whalers existed, we immediately went, okay, so you've got 3 idiots. Y'all should be competent, maybe, but
We started
you can
off that
also-
way.
honestly delightful. It was very fun to be able to play off of the somewhat doubt you had about our previous experience, or like being able to, it was kind of a little bit of an audience surrogate thing, because it gave us the chance to, for those who didn't listen to the one shot, we got to explain what happened in the one shot in universe.
It was fun.
It was that.
Episode 1 being a rehash of the one shot. I can't prove it, but it felt like Jenny throwing a bone to me specifically because I was the one complaining about FOMO.
I will not confirm nor deny, but that was part of it.
But then there were imps, and I peeked out my mic screaming about Merlin escaping from hell. Jonas, do some talking.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely made for a good bridge between them, because the first one was truly just very last minute insanity the whole way through. And then everyone's new characters provided pretty valuable alternate perspectives. And just like vibes, because the 3 of us were kind of all the same level of insane energy, and the 3 new characters gave 3 very different insanities, but at different levels of energy also. So it was helpful to have, you need your goofs and your straight men, and then as Grant said, that all went out the window in episode 2, and they got insane anyway, and and then it was like they'd been there the whole time.
And let me tell you, it was very fun playing essentially your guys' straight men in the straight men.
Yeah.
Yeah, we essentially threw it
Now,
back
there
at
are
Jenny.
a lot of BBC Sherlock fans who would be very mad at what you just said.
Hey, I'm talking about the original Arthur Conan Doyle books, who also, by the way, was very gay.
I was gonna say, and you think that means what?
Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing, really.
I don't think Sir Arthur Conan Doyle would agree with that. That's a complicated man.
But yeah, it was, I really enjoyed finding the thing, like, even though this was our first adventure together, I had a lot of fun, like, figuring out what the dynamic was beforehand, which is to say me being an annoying gremlin towards Salvador, full name, Salvador, and Penwick, and kind of being Teddy's tag-along. Meritt wanted Teddy to think she was cool.
Absolutely zero shock that Rosie chose to pick on me and Dusty and clinged to Taylor. the characters
I'm here
change,
for the
the
girls.
person does not.
I'm here for the girls. And that's who I am.
That's what we do here.
Truly a girl's girl.
I don't want to linger on here because I know I have more questions, but a big reason why I cast Taylor in this was because I knew Rosie was here and that they both would appreciate each other and be able to find a chaos within their friendship. So I was like, yeah, easy pick.
Easy peasy. All right, here's one for everybody. So we're going to go in reverse order. We're going to start with Jonas and work our way around. What was your favorite part of the Sherwood system?
Oh, of the system. Oh, that's interesting. great question. I think probably. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like in ways it's similar to other things I've played, but it's also kind of. I know it's kind of based on some other stuff that I think the developer did. I think the the stat expenditure probably is the most interesting part. It's the part where you have to think the most. And the fact that the way that there's different ways to spend each stat and they all kind of interact with each other is really cool. And I'd love to see. I'm sure one exists. I just don't know what it is. But I'd love to see a whole system that functions entirely off of a mechanic like that with no randomness. So it's just about managing your resources.
Can I introduce you to a little game called Hell Whalers?
Sure, yeah, cool.
That's all that system is.
Sick.
I appreciate I could get a gun in this system. It's really nice.
That is all
Jenny
homebrew.
invention.
That is very much a Jenny homebrewed a gun.
That was very homebrew, and I'm glad the system created a way to get that homebrewed in. But
there was a logic to it.
There was logic. I promise, gang. You two have a gun in Sherwood. But no, in reality, I think the character building was very easy to follow through. So I really like that. I love vagueness and character building, so I can do whatever I want. So now I could be a tiny bear girl, Teddy. And that's why her name is Teddy Bear.
Aw. I love Teddy, by the way. She's very special.
A lot of people love Teddy. Just
a lot of James Bonds as well.
A lot of James Bonds really love Teddy.
Every James Bond loves Teddy.
Every Teddy. Canon. Look it up. Google.
Okay, time for Rosie to put her rules liker hat on. Honestly, mine was also the character creation. I will say, would love to sometime find an opportunity to off mic play a rules as written Sherwood campaign where we're using the resources and the proper stuff for sorcery and really getting into the actual way you're supposed to play it and not our batshit insane way of playing it.
Yeah, where your characters actually age naturally throughout their lives.
And
so we don't time skip in case we want to flirt with people, and it would feel weird if I was 18 for that. Yeah.
It's a robust system, gang. Shout out Our Rook Studios. You should go buy it and play it for years and years and years.
Yeah, but I think it is the life path character creation system, because while other games will have a background, a culture, a thing to show who you were before you were an adventurer, this really gets into it, and I love the process of how long did you live before you became an outlaw? Okay, you could theoretically pick up more skills and in that time. So I love that process. It is my favorite character building process I have seen in any game, period, I think. I will say that with my whole chest.
Whoa!
Now, in fairness, Sherwood was literally the first non-D&D game I ever played.
Oh,
I'm not kidding. That episode of Sherwood was literally the first time I played a system that wasn't D&D. So there very well could be character building systems that I would like better out there. I just haven't seen them yet. So
8 meter. I'm with the gang. My favorite thing is genuinely that your character ages and gets better as they go. As evidenced by the fact that we learned that at a certain point that Kay technically could not be hurt because he was 37.
Could not be hurt by somebody attacking him with a weapon.
Yeah, physical means.
But you could have failed a saving throw.
But I didn't. No, I did. I very famously did fail one saving throw.
Yeah. The only one
very
that
important one. But no, that's the meat and potatoes of Sherwood, right? The character creation that lets the age dictate your skill level and all that stuff, and the point spend system, which, as you saw, can get very goofy very quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree. I don't think 4 episodes completely does the system justice. That's a big why we wanted to expand it from beyond a one shot, so we could keep playing it.
And Jenny just kept saying yes when I asked her to do things that were outside rules as written. So,
and now we get the opinion from an actual game designer.
Putting, I already have a hat on, but as mechanics sicko, self-described, I like a lot about this game. The life path character creation system, as all of you said, is a really good way to get into it, build your character, and you really get to breathe life into the character. just by answering these questions, these prompts. How old are they? Then you have to think, well, if they're older, they'll understand like these more things, so they'll clearly be better. And if you're like at a certain point, you also get some more troubles, which like shows like the aging and how you just experience more. And I thought that was really great. I really love the what Jonas was saying about spending the attribute points, like using that like your skills as a resource is like just something I absolutely adore in a game like this, because you get to push obviously at the cost to yourself. What that means, like the my games, like famously on Game Master Monday, Lesbian Werewolf Crime Fighters, uses the system I call tenacity system, where it's basically that all of your moves and all of your skills are used with your resource, which also takes you out of the scene or the game. And I think it's really elegantly done, and being able to spend stuff to get better, and like the more luck you use, the less lucky you are. The more you expend your strength, the more sore you're going to be the next day. It's good shit.
Also, it was really, really fun to do the in-character rules explanation with Jenny. We sat down at was it 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night? Something like that?
Pretty late. Like, I had to go to bed almost as soon as we finished.
I know the sun was down, and I know it was the end of the day for me. And we just banged that script out, and we had so much fun doing it. As a side note for the primer,
I just like voicing Robin Hood.
That was a great time.
He's a fun character to play as.
The last thing I'll say about it before we go to the next question, but I love what we do for the primer episodes before a miniseries. I especially love them even more now because Rowan from Rascal once described them as the message you get before you get on the theme park ride, and that's all I can think about whenever I say those now. And yeah,
so perfect.
Nail on the head. So thank you, Rowan, for putting that bug in my brain, because now it's the exact place that we write those from.
Well,
yeah, I was not writing it from that point. I was just tickled at the idea of doing it as a prequel to the one shot.
Your primer has a very Indiana Jones ride vibe to it.
I've never been to a theme park except for Worlds of Fun in Kansas. So
we got to bail Rosie out of that cave she lives in. Anyway, go ahead, Jenny.
Well, Grant, since you're talking a bunch, got a question for you.
Sure.
What made you want to play a Knight of the Round Table? How did you pick who it would be, and how much did I know?
Because I'm a bastard man who has to be different.
I was going to say it's because he's a fucking nerd, but...
Both things are true.
This is the same sentence. I went back and forth on a lot of stuff. I was just chatting with Jenny and seeing the ideas that Dusty and Taylor were putting down. And I was like, if we're gonna run with the idea that we're the more quote unquote competent people coming into this group of insane people, what's more competent than a rogue knight? So I was gonna be just like a regular knight from Robin Hood times who did not like King John and bailed out of that court, and I was gonna have a stronger personal connection to Meritt. But I'm a bastard man, and I kept thinking about how we're knights killing knights, and then I messaged Jenny one night in all caps, what if I'm a Knight of the Round Table undercover? And she was, and to her credit, her initial reaction was, no, don't betray the party. And I was like, no, I'm undercover to get Arthur. And then it was just because I'm a fucking nerd, which knight would be the most likely to go against Arthur that isn't named Lancelot? And it's Kay. It's absolutely Kay, the jealous shadow brother who should have been the Lord, who needs a good excuse, and what better one than to go after his brother after he turned evil. I also just recently read The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman, which fucks. It is a great book and has Sir Kay in it. And the book is amazing, but they do my boy an injustice and make him sad and a little too depressed, and a bad thing happens to my boy. So I wanted to just, I don't know. Plus, he has a cool shield with the 2 keys. Gave me Kingdom Hearts vibes.
Justice for Kay.
So,
Grant, you're saying this, but you planned on dying in episode 4.
Well, so that answers the last part of it. How much did Jenny know? Jenny pretty much by virtue of defeating King Arthur, that defeats all the knights all at once. So Kay would probably vanish from reality, and I was like, yeah.
I was like, I just want you to know
you can't
we're
have him be too depressed.
Kay
Right.
was being self-sacrificial. He was like, I should have been dead centuries ago. This is dumb. Why am I alive? Let's fix this. And then
Very
Meritt,
Kingdom Hearts of you.
and yeah, very Kingdom Hearts. There's a reason why my K playlist has a lot of female-driven new metal orchestral shit like Nightwish in it.
That's beautiful, really.
I love him.
Here's a duo question for Rosie and Dusty. It seemed like Meritt and Salvador had something darker in their individual backstories, or at least something they were both trying to run from. Can we get a little bit more into that?
Rosie, what about you?
Honestly, Meredith is just a little shit. Genuinely, her backstory is not dark at all. Her backstory is she was a noblewoman. She was lady in waiting, which is basically a professional bridesmaid. You just permanently have to act like somebody's bridesmaid. But she was even given the choice of a couple different suitors for an arranged political marriage. And she got cold feet, even though there was literally Sir Timothy. Totally fine until he said that thing about growing up, and then I was like, oh no, you actually suck. I actually dodged a bullet here. But yeah, it was literally because I am on the aromantic spectrum. It was coincidental because my first idea was to do like a runaway bride character, and then I realized runaway bride was an option on the troubles table after the fact. Yeah, it was just like nothing wrong with the guy that she was supposed to end up with, but she just really, really, really hated the idea of that, and ran off into the woods and decided to be a little gremlin instead. Not a lot. Her backstory, not that dark. Also, the inherent erotic tension of somebody being mistaken for your own kidnapper and your fiance chasing after you, the outlaw, to rescue you, the person who was kidnapped. I just think that's hilarious. Dusty, go. Dusty's is actually sad.
On the other hand, going back to the character creation rules about how playing an older character, you do get more troubles. I believe I made Salvador like late 30s, almost 40. I forget. So I got a lot of troubles. One of them was a runaway bride situation. And the other was we saw it at the end of the episode 4, but there was a confrontation where Salvador unfortunately killed a man. But it was a man in protecting someone, but it turned out to be a worse situation. That man's son saw only me over their dad's dead body. Which is why, they were swore vengeance. They were hunting me all through this. And apparently, vengeance goes through time and space. So I guess technically Salvador, if they ever go back to the normal time, is going to get got.
Not if Meritt has anything to say about it.
He beat me to it. I was muted, so he beat me to it.
I could see it in your eyes.
But yeah, it's just I find Salvador to kind of be a person that has just spent all their time running away from their past and has kept it at bay for a long time. So it doesn't seem to be bothering them, which is why they maybe they had a lot of fun letting loose with all these explosions.
I do think... Oh, yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, I do think after we get... we part ways with the doctor or whatever, I think Salvador and Meredith do have some chats and end up being pretty tight.
I really love that scene of just Salvador going, "You good? You explaining a bunch of shit, but okay, but are you good?"
I absolutely loved that scene. Yeah,
good one. Taylor, I got a question for you. Let's be real. Let's be entirely real. Which James Bond would be Teddy's absolute favorite?
Which Bond is the Teddy boy?
It'd be very funny if I ever watched a James Bond movie.
I was gonna say, how much
damn.
you actually know about James Bond?
Like that now.
The richest
like
one.
the only the richest one. The only one I have only seen is Skyfall.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah,
that would be
James-
great.
That was a really good one.
Elegant pick.
I think that what Teddy would go with. And
I'd
me
be
too,
Daniel Craig's
personally,
Bond
too.
girl. I'd do it.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Funny as hell.
I'd let him do things.
Correct.
I need to leave.
Yeah, okay.
No, you need to stay.
Okay.
We get all these
I'll say for you,
poignant
Taylor.
questions and be like, oh,
Thank
what
you.
Bond girl? Jonas, question for you, my friend.
Hi.
Why was Hypatia so hesitant to believe in magic even when it was right in front of her? Second follow-up question, what is her favorite opera?
It was a bit, right?
I love the inflection of the why at the beginning. Like, Jonas, why?
I was scared of the question. I mean, well, the Doylist answer is because it was a bit in the first one, and it just continued to be a bit. But as we discovered during gameplay, the real reason is because apparently they teach magic in English schools and not French ones. So she just hadn't been exposed to it, and it was something she was learning to accept. I mean, she broke down a little bit on it, but still was like, I don't know. I mean, it still seems like quackery. So second question, favorite opera?
Yeah.
I mean, my cop-out answer is the opera that the one about Julie Daubigny that I'm pretty sure exists, or the one she was in. But
A few, right?
well, she was at Opera Company, but there was one I believe that was like where she got the name L'Homme that was famous for. I forget what it was called because I'm bad at history. Other than that, I can't say I know that many operas. So,
Barber of Seville.
What's the Spanish one?
Carmen?
Oh, Carmen?
Yeah, Carmen. Let's say Carmen.
That's my favorite opera. Fun fact. I love Carmen.
What's their
Of
feelings
course,
on
you have a
Rico?
favorite opera, Grant.
You've all heard Pleasure in West River at this point, right? My guy Arpeggio.
I think Hypatia would like Repo. I think she would just like anything that's like
Ooh.
high energy.
Yeah.
I was just imagining Barber of Seville because of the Bugs Bunny sketch. I'm just imagining Hypatia just tormenting a guy on top of his head and like doing mean things to it.
Making it sound.
She does it for the love of the stage, So
Jenny, I'm gonna fuck up your screen for 1 second.
leading
Sorry.
You
A
bastard.
sword, an army of swords people will live forever in my heart. That is
good bit.
It's a
chef's
good
kiss.
bit. Very good bit. Well, while Grant is ruining my stream for 5 minutes, we'll go ahead and ask a question for everyone. We mentioned Kingdom Hearts briefly. Thanks for that, Grant. It's a good segue. What other British Kingdom Hearts-like worlds would you have liked to have visited?
We referenced a bunch in episode 4. I don't know how much of it got cut because I haven't actually listened to the final edit yet. I'm gonna be honest.
There's a lot of good ones. There's a lot of good British worlds.
specifically.
I would have loved Hitchhikers.
I gotta
More
tell you.
Hitchhikers.
That is British.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to fuck up a Vogon. I wanted to have a Babelfish. I wanted to make some tea.
Right.
Hang on, I'm googling list of famous British works.
Is Hellboy?
I
know it's a metropolis, but I feel like at least I'm coming from the movie perspective.
that is an amazing point. I don't know.
I gotta go with Mary Shelley's Frankenstein because shout out to my girl, the inventor of the science fiction genre. That is just me being a girl's girl. I have to say that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Or okay. No, I remember what I was thinking of. The Leave Extraordinary Gentleman.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's basically what we were doing already. So
Yeah, exactly. I think
but a
it'd
little
be
different.
very funny.
What was the question?
Oh,
What other British literature thing would you bring in?
Kingdom Hearts in.
yeah, Kingdom Hearts style
Hellraiser.
British word.
Oh.
Hellraiser?
Hellraiser.
Hellraiser.
That's great.
Oh wow!
I need someone to walk out to Teddy specifically and be like, we have such sights to show you. This place in London is
like-
British.
He's like, I work alone.
Teddy, who
I don't
made
know.
deals with imps. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
But
A lot
she
of my-
did it. But she didn't fall through.
That's true.
My real answer is Narnia.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
But the more I think about Hellraiser, the more I'm into it. I think
it
it would be fun to mess with them.
Taskmaster is a good. I changed my answer
Yes.
to Taskmaster.
Mhm.
That'd be silly. Oh, if we could do that, then the Graham Norton show.
Fuckers.
What about the Great British Bake Off without any of the hosts?
Oh my god. I think if Penwick went on the Great British Bake Off, that would fix him. I think that
I
would
agree.
fix him.
I agree. Could you imagine us just traveling through time and space with what's her name? Mary Berry? Is that her name? I don't remember.
Mary Berry.
All Hollywood?
What's her
Paul
name?
Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood's the other guy. He's the Brit. He's the Brit. Sorry.
If we do Great British
Very
Bake
girl.
Off, we can do we can do a 2-for-1 and also do the Mighty Boosh.
That's true. Taylor, what Kingdom Hearts like Britain would you like to go to?
We were gonna bring the reality show Big Brother to it because it started in it started
That's the right
there.
answer.
That's a good answer.
That's a good one.
Oh.
There
Do
were,
big-
Who would win Big Brother from our party, Taylor? Who's got the goods?
Oh, Teddy, easy, duh.
No, I don't think Teddy would. Teddy would win physical challenges. That is correct. But
Hypatia would be the fan favorite.
yeah,
Whether or not she
I think
won.
so.
I think.
I was going to say Augusta.
Yeah, I think
It's
despite all
just
odds, I
like
think
Augusta.
Augusta Augustine would be the winner of Big Brother.
Hypatia would be there for the lesbians. Augusta is there for everybody else.
True.
Yeah, like Teddy's there for physical challenges and stuff, but like I think a lot of people will try to gang up and take her out because she is winning the challenges. So I don't think she'll make it far
Right.
because
Survivor
of
Curse.
that. Yeah, Survivor Curse.
All
I
I
know
know
like
in my part
America
is
doesn't
Penwick would
vote.
definitely go home first for being annoying.
I also have an answer to this question, believe it or not.
Oh.
There were two other world ideas I was spitballing off myself, but then I was like, no, I think it would be more interesting if we did these two. One was V for Vendetta for the dystopian future final,
That's a good call. Good call.
Yeah.
where instead of there being kings, it would be King Arthur like killing off essentially Britain Hitler and restoring the right of kings to dystopian Britain of the future, and you'd have to pair up with Evie instead of the actual V for Vendetta fellow who canonically dies at the end, and have to basically do V for Vendetta 2.
Spoilers for V for Vendetta, I guess.
Yeah, it's an old movie, Grant, and an older book series, so I don't
Have
fucking
we
know
done
what to
Count
tell
of
you.
Monte Cristo yet? Or no, that's French. Never mind.
That's in V, so we could theoretically do it. The other one was just Shakespeare Times. It was just like a little post-it note I had that just said Shakespeare Times, and I'm like, I don't know how well
I
it
would
would
We
work.
just have to go to. We would have to go to Italy for that part. It would be a bunch of people who are British, but they're in Italy for some reason.
Yeah, and I was like,
Now,
the
do you
more I
mean
was-
Romeo and Juliet, or Two Gentlemen of Verona, or Julius Caesar?
My,
I have read
my,
that play.
my subnote was
Sherwood.
Macbeth because it specifically takes place on the British Isles.
Yeah.
There has to
What
be a
about-
Shakespeare play in England.
There's several. The histories, the kings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can do King Richard.
Yeah, hang on. I need to call Jacqueline. She would know.
Yeah, but the
I was
more I
gonna say, where's
got,
Grace?
the more I got lost in the weeds with Shakespeare, the more it would be like, well, it would basically just be King Arthur killing whoever the royal person would have been at the time of Shakespeare.
I'm gonna say your base is going forward 200 years in that one for
yeah,
sure.
it's basically semantics at that point.
It wouldn't be too much of an aesthetic difference, and there's too much canon to pull from for whatever our nonsense
Yeah,
was.
it would have been way too
I guess
hard.
you could do it like a world beyond world thing where every Shakespeare reality exists all at the same time, and you can pull anything from that. But,
But then that would be like the same thing as the end of the universe that we did at the end there, but with Shakespeare.
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Plus, you got your Shakespeare reference in with Hypatia because she canonically made out with Juliet.
That's true.
Made out,
Really?
made
Made
out.
That's true. Yeah, she was
Made
there.
out.
Make it out it.
Make it out with a marzipan. Final question, and this is gonna be our tearjerker, y'all.
Are we there already? Oh yeah,
We
I guess we
are.
only have an hour today. Okay, cool.
We're at our final.
Really
question.
rapid firing.
Yeah, we only had one question per person.
That was by design. Thank you, question askers. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about working with each of our member of our cast during this process?
You have to go
So
first,
there's
Jenny.
two ways to approach this.
I do
Either
have to go
everybody
first.
can take turns all complimenting the same person, and you have to receive all the compliments in a row, or we can all give our compliments all at once. So I compliment everyone in a row, and everybody
Rosie,
gets some
stop
time to
gamifying
breathe.
my questions.
Listen.
Historically speaking, we've
No,
done it where
I was
each person-
watching the Longing for Another Strange Land Q&A, and I was like, oh, they did it differently. They did it in an
They did do it
easier way.
I will say, since a few of us have a hard out, I think it's easier if a person just goes down the line.
Fair enough. I'll start first then. Dusty, you're kind of a later join for this series, but you are always a joy to work with whenever we've been on the same table. I love working with you in Hail Whalers, and Sherwood is no exception. You are a master of picking apart systems and rules and finding ways to kind of make them your bitch in a way. You really do like to dig into the nitty-gritty of like, what can I possibly do here, and how can I best help my team? But also just like the batshit energy that you brought between sessions 3 and 4 was just phenomenal. Like, no notes. You had an idea, it's like, I want to be a pyromancer, and flamethrowers are pyromancy. That's the play. And really just no one has an imagination like you in the series. And I love you from a game design perspective as well, because I've had to make a game from the ground up. It's hard. and I love you for it. Grant, you are a very, very close confidant of mine. Honestly, this version of Sherwood would not have existed without you. Without you giving me both plenty of time to gather my ideas and my thoughts, and to work with me when I was going through some pretty, honestly, tough times for me. A lot of shit happened between Sherwood 1 and this franchise, this mini-series, Sherwood, that I don't really want to go into. There's a lot of personal stuff. Friends were made, friends were lost, and things struck me in a lot of ways, and Grant was very understanding and kind and patient with me. He was like, listen, the Final Fantasy idea didn't work out, so we're going to give you some more time to work on your second idea. And I was like, yeah, all right.
Don't blow up my spot. What Final Fantasy idea? I don't know what you're talking.
No, that was my idea. I can talk about that publicly. That's fine.
Oh, that, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because I got the Final Fantasy 14 TTRPG, and it was
But
not...
it sucked.
Well, it's not that
Right.
it sucked. It's just not suited for our kind of space.
Got it. Ignore what I said.
Yeah.
Keep saying nice things about our friends.
All right. Otherwise, you suck, Grant. I hate you. Rosie, you are a fireball. I don't think I could reel you in if I ever tried, and I don't think I ever want to. You are just a huge ball of energy that I strive to try to capture in pretty much everything I do. You are lightning in a bottle, and I mean this in all the most positive ways. Keep going. Never lose that energy. Never lose that spark. It is phenomenal how much you can pour into and how much you love these sorts of systems. Just heart goes out to you, Rose. Holy smokes. Taylor, you were kind of our quiet backbone in this series. You didn't say like terribly a lot of things, but what you did say and what you did do, I think had a whole lot of impact on the story as a whole. You brought this sort of like quiet intensity and just like this like, what is it? This like sleeper agent humor to everything that was just like so beautiful. Like so many great one-liners came from Teddy that I just fucking adore. And it was just an absolute blast to have you here. And Jonas Hypatia was still my favorite. I'm sorry.
All right, fine.
Weird.
Thank you.
Weird.
You heard her, gang.
Weird thing to say. I mean, I loved all of you guys equally, but Hypatia was my favorite.
I'll take it.
Hypatia is such a fascinating character to look at from I don't want to believe anything that's happening in the world perspective. The world around me is fake, and I am the one truth. It felt like a more earnest version of what is going on in some political climates that I won't talk about.
Oh, I don't know if I like this compliment anymore.
But no. It's more in a way of like everything's fake. I am the truth, but I'm gonna learn about everything that's going on anyway, so that I can make it my truth.
Sure.
Let's put it that way, and not bad tongue in cheek.
Thank you.
And I do want to also give a shout out to our friend Janelle, who is not currently here, who just brings this absolute love and joy to the tabletop community and space and everything that Janelle does. Just a phenomenal person to be around, and a massive just heart in this community that I cannot praise enough, honestly. But we're very quickly running out of time. I don't want to take up too many people's time here, so.
Yeah, I'll go next when the gang has more time to cook. Let the producers go first, right? I'm going to start with Janelle just because she's not here and she can't stop me. Echoing what Jenny said, Janelle carries such like an important presence in our space as an advocate for the indie scene. I don't think there's anybody who's worked with Janelle who doesn't have great things to say about her, and it shows. She shows up. She's a consummate professional. There is never any doubt she's going to deliver an incredible performance, and you can tell how much she does this because her brain does not stop moving. She's always in character. She has a contagious laugh. Like if any of us made Janelle laugh, then the rest of us were fucked in the audio. 90% of my edit job for Sherwood was, okay, we all made Janelle laugh and now we're all laughing. So we got to cut this a little bit shorter. I love doing stuff with her. I'll do everything with Janelle forever if I can. We threw Taylor into an impossible situation. Said, hello, we're doubling this cast. And I would trust so few people to pick up where a very chaotic one-shot left off. Dusty and Taylor were my first picks. Taylor, the first of the two of my first picks. Because Taylor has chemistry no matter where you throw her. Taylor is an excellent advocate for not just herself, but her table. She's never going to misuse her time when she has her turn. She's effective. She's smart. She's hilarious. She can do in 5 seconds what it takes me a whole minute to monologue through. I throw Taylor into a lot of stuff because I've been a SpunkyTaylor fan since before she was doing GMM, and I've only become a bigger one since working with her on 2 miniseries and a couple of one-shots now. I feel like I just like, Taylor, you're doing something. You're not doing anything right. Come on. You want to do more cool, funny shit?
Are you counting the festive 3?
I'm counting. 3 then.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's 3.
Meadowview, Festive 3, and this.
Yeah.
I wasn't in Festive 3, so it doesn't exist in my brain. No, I'm just kidding.
It's out.
No, I wasn't part of that. No, I'm fully kidding. But no, I mean, listen, I would put Taylor. I put Taylor everything. Okay, good. And then to the same extent, Dusty. I mean, like, Dusty is the most, of all the clowns I know who are down, Dusty is the most down to clown. Infectiously funny, easy to work with. The number of late nights I've had bouncing ideas off of Dusty. They should bill me for work hours, honestly. Just effortlessly funny, deep character creator. Salvador had a lot going on, and you also found a way to make the flamethrower shtick funny for a long time. It never stopped being fun. Salvador found a way to have a scene with everybody. Like, I don't know, Dusty just gets AP, man. Just a sharp ass dude. And then, you know, our OGs, Jonas and Rosie, literally saved our ass with the first Sherwood recording because we had a big project with a big podcast that fell through. Again, no tea, no shade. That's why I never say the name, because everything's good between us. But I'm going to start with Rosie in particular, because Rosie was the true unknown for this one. Janelle and Jonas volunteered, and I knew Janelle and I knew Jonas from previous projects, but Rosie was like, this girl followed me this week. I did a quick scan of the Instagram and said, fuck it, she doesn't seem like a racist. So
literally that's all it was, because again, I've mentioned this so many times, but it's the funniest thing. I had no published AP content at the point that we recorded this. I had recorded other AP things, had not been published at all. Grant had no way to know what kind of player I was. Continue talking, Grant. I'm embarrassed, but oh my god, you took a chance.
I had to, and I'm glad I did. I mean, listen, Rosie has, from the minute I met her on a whim, been a ball of encouragement, of energy, as I know a lot of people who eat mechanics, but I think Rosie eats, drinks, breathes, lives inside of mechanics. Just wickedly sharp. If I know I'm going to run something complicated, I'm like, let me call Zoop, let me call Rosie, make sure that they keep me honest. And I don't know, just a terrific friend. I call on Rosie a lot because she's dependable and reliable, but also because I know she's going to step up and she's going to understand the assignment, and she's going to be encouraging and never stop talking about it on social media, which is what I super appreciate from a content creator standpoint. I don't know. I'm glad Rosie took a chance on us. I'm glad we took a chance on Rosie, because it's become one of my favorite friendships in the community. And get cherished, moron. Jonas has Jonas and I feel like we're like Mars's moons around each other, as we kept trying to like find the time where we could finally slam into each other and do a project. And it was Sherwood. I think I even DM'd Jonas directly, or like the show they were on, and be like, please help me. the time is now, Jonas, get in here. And I mean, absolutely crushed it. It's to no one's surprise. Jonas is one of the funniest wits that I know. Just your ability to pull a hyper specific joke out of thin air from what someone just said. The joke that made me laugh the hardest in all of Sherwood is a Hypatia line. And I want to say it's when Teddy sets you up, something to the, or maybe it's Augusta. And she's like, does anyone here know anything about astronomy or anything? And there's like a slight pause. And then you go in and say, I'm a Leo. It fucking kills me every time. I had to go back and listen to it a few times because the delivery gets me. I don't know. You understand structure so well. You understand mechanics super well. It's rare to find someone who's funny and also good with the rules. Sometimes you get one or the other, but with Rosie and Jonas, you get both. And in Jonas's case, I don't know, the structure and rules of comedy seem as easy to you as the structure and rules of a game, and that's invaluable in a stupid, bombastic, rules-heavy action movie like this, made in a lab to do Sherwood, I think. And Jenny, you're cool.
So kind.
Yeah, of course. Jenny, you're fine. Whatever. I don't know.
Compliment your sister, Grant.
Again, I do this all the time. Jenny and I have met one afternoon in May in 1994, and she's been a pain in the ass ever since.
Well, about 31 years now.
No, I mean, listen, I started the show with Jenny for a reason. I've gone on record of how well we work together and why this show works. And, we knew that the time for Jenny to focus on her other projects was coming up, and the sands of her time of consistently, dedicatedly working on Game Master Monday were coming to not necessarily a close, but like a door ajar, if you will. So it was important to me that we did Sherwood right. And it was important to me that we gave her all the time she needed to make something good and special the way she wanted to do it, because when Jenny's at full power, she seems unstoppable, and she was, in fact, unstoppable in this series. So I'm glad we gave you that room to breathe. It's going to be weird on having my sister-shaped safety net going forward, at least not in the same capacity we've had her. But I think you really stuck the landing with this one. You did an amazing job. You're a fantastic game master. Your other show is lucky to have you. I will kill them all one day so I can get you back. do not let them sleep at night. I will find them. We're doing Hellraiser. But I mean, listen, whatever. I've done a half a dozen of these things here with you. I've said nice things about you a lot. I'll see you tomorrow. And Jenny's a great game master. We were lucky to have her for this series. And if you sign our petition, maybe she'll come back one day.
Okay, Grant has a heart out, so everybody needs to compliment Grant now immediately.
Grant.
I was going to say, I also unfortunately have to sprint.
Yes.
Well,
Jonas.
but yeah, should we go around on Grants real quick?
Yeah. Let everyone say nice things about me, then Jonas can say a piece, and then the two of us will vanish into the ether while you all say other nice things.
Compliment each other. Yeah.
Jonas, you're the one who said Grant had to get complimented
but
first.
then I got okay, fine.
Jonas gets their own round.
That was what I was thinking. Yeah, you guys take it.
Now you have to go first, Rosie.
Yeah, 100%. I fucking will. Don't test me, Grant. I owe so much to you, you motherfucker. I owe you so much. And like, thank you for making me feel so incredibly welcome in a community and like being there to support me over the past it's been a year. We've been doing this for a year. We met a year ago, Grant.
Feels longer, right?
It feels like longer and shorter at the same time, honestly. I seriously cannot thank you enough for throwing me into so many things, for vouching for me. Truly, like, your word is credible in this community. And no, it's not. Shut the fuck up and accept the compliments, Grant.
You're right.
Thank you so much for being willing to let me crawl on top of you and call you a cuck in the theater of the mind that we were playing in. And also for bringing such you knew what the original Sherwood was. You kind of vaguely knew what Jenny had planned, but you still went into your little brain and you said, let me take this further. Let me make more out of this and bring something like, Penwick is a genius. I don't know. And I never would have thought to do something like that. And it's just, Game Master Monday Grant, everybody. I'm getting embarrassed, but I'll compliment you more in DMs or something. I don't know. Or just in the Waffle House. Fuck you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Somebody else compliment him now. I'm embarrassed.
Love you, Rose.
Grant.
Hi.
What the fuck? Positively.
Yeah.
I think
Pause.
you do a great job at really embodying your character, no matter how silly or serious it's supposed to be, and still getting that balance. You understand that a good horror movie cannot just be disturbing images 100% of the time. Understanding that a serious character has to have a crack in them, and you play Penwick like that, and I thought it was great. You playing off as this like person that's not supposed to be too like jokey, but still like spit jokes at this fuckface Arthur, and doing the reveal that yes, I am a roundtable person, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and accepting the vitriol from everyone around you. Is like, yes, I fucking get it. It was great. You played it off very well. Like you played most and all of your characters. It was fun playing in the game with you, not in you as a GM. So having that energy to bounce off of and not having the consequence after it was pretty fun.
Without you hurting me.
And I will pass it off to
Thank you, friend.
Someone.
Taylor.
Yeah. I was like, is it okay if I do like a big group
Yeah.
compliment thing? Yeah.
Sure.
I was like, because I was like, I feel like I'm about to say the same thing to everyone. And then so I was like, let's just make it a big group thing. I was like, in this community is very rough for like the BIPOC community and stuff like that to find safe tables. And I wanted to say thank you all for making a safe environment, flexibility and stuff. And again, you guys already had the one shot and like making it more smooth and stuff to invite me into it and stuff. It's been really nice. And and I appreciate you all for that, to creating a safe, fun environment and stuff. So keep being you guys. I love you all so much and stuff for that.
All right, I'll try and make this quick but eloquent, so Grant and I can get to our commitments. Eloquent, if you will. Grant, for you, just thank you for having me back, for managing all this. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am very grateful to be here. I haven't gotten to do anything like this in about 6 months, and it was just a blast getting back on and rolling dice and making a kerfuffle out of it. And also as a character, I just appreciate that you're the kind of player who is willing to take a lot of hits on the chin, because that is usually the type of player I am. And Penwick was very funny in that way. Dusty, you had such an easy, like, just slide into every scene, and the way you interact with the other characters in the world was delightful to watch. And as a fellow designer of short RPG content, I just feel a kinship to you, and I appreciate all your work. Taylor, I have to say my favorite thing about you and I's relationship on this is probably how we were on a different thing like 3 weeks before it started, and just happened to be, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this Sherwood thing in a couple weeks. And you're like, Sherwood, oh, hey, I'm on that. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't recognize your username in the chat. That was hilarious to me, and set me up to just really, I think, better appreciate and enjoy your contributions. Teddy always had the killer one-liner to cut a ridiculous scene short and keep things moving, and the complete just suaveness of writing off every James Bond was hilarious. Jenny, wonderful GM. Of course, this is a crazy, silly series where you can't be expected anything to go as planned. You really roll with the punches. You really took all of our bullshit and managed it well. Made it, amplified the humor and made sure that stuff was actually still happening. Just all around excellent handling of top to bottom, working with the rules where they mattered and not where they didn't, and just facilitating everything to be as hilarious and enjoyable as possible for everyone. Rosie, so many things I could say. I'll keep it short to a beacon of positivity, and just always made me glad to be here and feel welcome. And as I said a couple times, was also very nice to have someone else know the rules, because that's usually my job. And I don't dislike that job. I do like that job. But it was nice to be able to just like not, I see the laminated. It was nice to just be able to take a seat back on that for once and be able to go with the flow more. And then to Janelle, who is not here, I will also say, I seconded everything that Grant said as well. Just a lovely talent. Always bounced off of with me specifically. I feel like Hypatia and Augusta had just like the tightest kind of dynamic, and it was just every time she opened her mouth, did that hilarious voice of hers, I was cackling, dying. And just a lovely person in general, as all of you are. So thank you all for having me. If anyone has a seat open, I'm free. I got nothing going on, so I would love to play with anything, play with any of you again. Thank you all very much.
And that's it for Jonas and I. We'll let Rosie and Dusty complete their circle of friendship with everyone. But Jonas, before you head out, very quick.
You cut way out. What?
We lost your audio.
Where can people find more of Jonas?
Oh, right, that thing. I'm Jonas Tintenseher, as my name is spelled. In the show credits and things, you can find me on itch.io, where I publish short RPG content. You can also follow Team Elsewhere on itch. That's Team Elsewhere, W-A-R-E. I am the lead writer for a small indie team. We make video games and stuff, short ones, but they're all pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Check out Derelict Delvers. It's one of our more recent ones. I'm very proud of it. And also Red Clover Case Files, another visual novel I'm helping on. It's going to be on Kickstarter later this year. Keep an eye out for that. Thanks all. You've all been lovely, and I hope to catch you all soon.
Beautiful. Jenny's gonna
Grant, where can we find you?
Yeah, I was gonna say Jenny's gonna plug our show proper later, but hey, Game Master Monday, that's the show that I'm normally the GM podcast for. We're going back to the one-shot format on Monday with a game Midwestern Moms. It's gonna star Abby Yazzie, who may know enough of Abby, award-winning Game Master enough of Abby. We're gonna have Kelly the Kellhop, who you may recall from The Heart is a Dungeon and I fucking everything all the time. Kelly's does so much cool shit. And Zoe from the Heart of the Dungeon is also going to be on that one. That's going to be Monday. We got a mini series coming up that Jenny will talk about, and I'm on the internet at Game Master Monday. If you ever want to know what I'm doing, I can't shut up about it if I try. So that's it for Jonas and I. Y'all have a great rest of your session. Thank you, Help Action Needed, for rating us. Hello, Sean,
with the raid,
bastard. I love that, man.
Jenny, sorry for messing up the captions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Whatever.
Okay.
Bye, Jenny. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I feel like we need to disclaim that you two are siblings on a regular basis.
I think it's funnier if we don't.
I'm there. It's the kind of Rosa, you want to go? Or should I?
If you would like to, please feel free.
I'll go. 'Cause I just want to again, huge shout out to Janelle and Jonas, who were just fantastic to play with. This is besides Grant and Jenny, this is my first time playing with all of y'all. So it was a very fun experience to just kind of jump in and jump in. Play off the vibes, but it was very easy to understand the energy from episode 1 right from the get-go. And it was really great to bounce off Hypatia and Augusta cracked me up the whole time. I really loved Hypatia's the most smooth lesbian in all of history. And Augusta's just the voice, keeping that up while still being serious and saying I'm going to kill this man is incredible. And shout out to all of them. Taylor, I also loved Teddy. Everyone has said it, but they're the sleeper agent, the quiet person in the room, but knows exactly you have your timing down to an art. I would say it compares to me how Zach Oyama is a person. You know exactly when to drop the line that will crack everyone up, and it's perfect. I love it. Rosie, you have such good energy to be in a recording with. You are able to jump into scenes. You make sure other people are heard. I think that's a very good for a group as chaotic and huge as ours was. A 6-person AP miniseries is nothing to sniff at. It's chaotic all around, especially with the high action energy, what we were doing. So I really appreciate you. I appreciate you knowing the rules back and front. As someone that plays a lot of systems on a regular, I know the systems, but I'm going to mess it up with 3 other games I just played recently. So that was great. I really appreciated also just the antagonistic yet almost familial energy that, oh my God, my brain has just...
It's okay because she has 3 different names, so you could just pick just pick something that starts with the letter M, and I'll know what you mean.
Meritt, got you. It was we've been saying it this whole thing, and just Meritt and Salvador.
Now I have you doing it.
Yes, it was very wonderful. And Jenny, you were great. You were able to rein all of our chaotic asses in. First 4 episodes, all of us saying oh, can we go get a gun? Oh, could we raise the Queen of England? Could we just, I don't know, break time and space and save someone an infinite number of times? Sure, but I'm going to make you pay for it. In a most positive way. Again, of your yes and no buts. It was performed very well. You were never missing a beat for everything that went on. This is a story that I don't know if it changed along the way, or this is exactly like what you're envisioning. I say, knowing as a GM, nothing's exactly what you envision, but you're able to tell the story you wanted to tell. You're able to have us do all of our goofs and hee-haws and ha-has, but still make us like hurt at the end of the series with our own traumas. Like, you know, we did it to ourselves, and I think that's a really powerful thing to do as a storyteller. And it's great. It's great being at a table with you.
I will say that there was only one change that I like genuinely made with Sherwood, and that was in episode 3, the James Bond one, where I had a whole dungeon planned of going.
I remember you mentioning that.
Of going through Buckingham Palace, and then you guys were like, "Oh, but he's probably in the tallest tower in England, so why not that big clock?" And I'm like, "That'll work. Yeah, I can do that."
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
you found the answer.
Let's bring Big Ben.
Yeah.
You solved your riddle.
Yeah. Perfect.
Shout out to Damsels in Distress. There were some very funny memes about that on Blue Sky after that episode.
I saw a couple of them. They're pretty great.
I'm going to contradict Dusty now. Dusty said you reined us in, Jenny. Holy shit, your ability to not rein us in and just let us fuck off and reanimate the corpse of the Queen of England? You did not rein us in at all, but you were so smooth about it. Like, I know for a fact you didn't know we were going to do that, because we didn't know we were going to do that. We just knew going into that episode, okay, we're in Victorian London now, fuck. It was also like 10 minutes after we finished recording episode 1. There was no time to plan based on like, because a lot of times GMs will be like, hey, what's your plan for this session so that I can know where we're gonna go, and like if we go off the rails, we go off the rails. But like you didn't even have that. Like you were so incredibly like, I don't even want to use the word unflappable, because you don't give stoic vibes, but you roll with the punches so well. And I said this to Lex after Camp Meadowview as well. You make me feel like I can go off the rails and like be that chaos gremlin bouncing off the walls, insane out of left field person that I can be. I do rein myself in quite a lot. I try to be very conscious of what the GM is planning. I try to be very conscious of not stepping on other players' toes. And it says a lot when I have a group where I can feel comfortable enough to not have to worry about that so much. So I will play with you anytime, Jenny.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. That makes you feel good inside.
Yeah. Janelle, I also credit a lot of my current position in the AP community to Janelle as well. I think the fact that I by chance ended up in the same group as Janelle to play that original Sherwood one-shot, I have suspicions that she may have put my name in the pockets of some GMs that I have played with, that have reached out to me and I've ended up playing with. I think she has been supporting me behind the scenes and didn't even tell me. That's just a personal theory. But Augusta is such a fucking funny character. The way I'm repeating a lot of what other people said because I'm going last. And that's my right as the person going last. Absolutely incredible to know how organized and how creative, and just with her working on safe mode disabled and the things that she's GMing and the things that she's producing, and then having her come into that character of Augusta and be so consistent with the voice and the fun and everything. She is an absolute powerhouse, and I'm honored that I was able to take some of my first steps into the community alongside her. So, Taylor, I fucking love you, and you know that. Thank you for letting me drag Teddy with me whenever we split off from the party. That wasn't super on purpose, but it kind of worked out that we kept going off as like the two girlies while everybody else was getting into it with knights and doing close-up magic to the guards. And then we just went and made some deals with some imps. And you're just such a delight to play with, and you have such a comforting presence. It is. I did not know that my presence was why Grant grabbed you for this, but you are a very like solid presence that is just like, if Taylor's there, I know we're gonna be stable, we're gonna be good. I have somebody to fall back on, and that's just wonderful. So, Dusty, I wanted to play with you for the longest time. Like, I love talking to you about game mechanics and stuff. I trust your opinions, which says a lot because usually I don't trust people who like Pathfinder.
You know what? I understand.
I said in the chat earlier, I want to be Dusty when I grow up, and that feels right. You're an Evol. I love the way you approach Salvador's character. I love the way you approach the games. Y'all say I know the rules so well. No, I just print them out and just have them here. So if I need to know something, it's in front of me. I don't have this shit memorized.
Yeah, me neither.
Part of knowing the rules.
I had the rules on a separate window constantly and was dying.
Yeah, the reason they're on paper is because I only have one monitor and
Yep, me too. It sucks.
Yeah, Dusty, I really hope we can do more shit together in the future. I also want to play your games. I would love to play your games with other people. Just an absolute delight to finally be able to work with you. And I love your vibes so much, and it's so much fun. Is that everyone? Did I hit everyone? Yeah, because I already complimented Jonas and Grant.
Janelle? Did you talk about Janelle?
What?
Did you talk about Janelle? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, we all talked about Janelle. Perfect.
Yeah.
Then I believe that's everyone and everything.
We did the final question!
Yay! Whew. Well...
That one's always I'm sweaty.
It makes you worried
Every
about what
time.
I was going to talk about. But I want to thank you guys all for being here for our last little extension of our Q&A. Sadly, we do have to cut things a little short here because everyone's gone except us four now. But I do have a few last-minute advertisements before we get going. First of all, I want to have the three of you tell me more about where you guys are, and then Game Master Monday will do a little announcement about something new and special. So, Dusty, where can we find more of you, friend?
Yeah, speaking of people that like Pathfinder, if you want to hear some incredibly queer, dramatic stories, you can go to Goblins and Gays. It is a Pathfinder 2nd edition actual play. We are hitting our stride in our second season of our main story, Tyrant of the Dark Star. If you like Gothic Victorian London vibes, with truly the most... My castmates are doing the most dramatic, over-the-top, like, misunderstanding of a love story. Love story is also a strong word. You could see this plot in Bridgerton and think that it's fake, is how it's going so far. And it's been a joy. I think we're heading towards the end of the season 2. Great time to catch up. You can also find me at Bring Your Own Mech, which is a Lancer AP. That's also chaotic vibes all around. My character's call sign's Roadkill. I think that's all you need to know about them. You follow like my AP work primarily. You can find me at Dusty Hill, Goblins and Gays, Bring Your Own Mech. I write silly games as well at From Dust to Dice. Games like Lesbian Werewolf Crime Fighters, Trans Vampire Cowboys. I just released a solo journaling game called Burnout about burnout. Because I've been struggling with it a lot this past year. It's out. There should be community copies available. But yeah, I really have a strong feelings towards that game, and there's like more coming out. I'm just gonna say, if you liked Sinners, maybe keep an eye out for stuff I'm making in the future. Just saying. That's at From Dust to Dice, and find me at Dusty Hill.
All right, and Taylor, where can we find more of you?
Oh, hey, yeah. You can find me everywhere as SpunkyTaylor or on Twitch as SpunkyTaylor Game, which you will see me tomorrow. We'll be playing a 13 Ghosts, 10 Candles game. It's a mutual aid stream to help me raise money for tax relief funds. Like, a lot of stuff with the government happened, so I owe a lot of money, so I need help. So we have an amazing cast. Instead of playing with 10 candles, we have 13 candles. You guys can donate to affect the games by releasing ghosts during it, or change our dice rolls and help the GM and stuff. So there's a lot of interactive stuff. That will be tomorrow at my channel at SpunkyTaylor Games at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think I have to go next, right?
You do, because I have a big thing to announce after all this is done.
Oh, exciting. Hi, I'm Rosie. You can find me on all my social media at Rosatyrs, Rosatyrs, like Rosie and the little goat folk, and you smush them together and you get Rosatyrs. Fun fact, this is JFK. Go watch Camp Meadowview. I am a cast member on Tabletop Tailspinners Network, primarily Magnificence, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition dark fantasy podcast. I play Sage. She's a wizard and a bitch, and I love her. Contrary to what I said earlier, I don't actually hate Pathfinder. I do have 2 Pathfinder books on the shelf behind me there. It's funny to have a rivalry at this point. You can also find me on other Game Master Monday stuff, as stated, Camp Meadowview, the Festive 3 with Jenny and Taylor. Taylor was also on Camp Meadowview as well, and like a few different one-shot episodes. I don't know. You'll find them. Yeah, I'm on Starcrawl RPG on Thursday nights right now. We are about to do the last episode of our Paint the Town Red game, where we play sad gay vampires causing drama on the RMS Titanic in 1912. I'm sure absolutely nothing will be going wrong on the 4th night of our journey of the Titanic. It's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be easy ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was going to say something else, and now I forgot what it was. So just, find me on my socials.
And, of course, you know me. My name's Jenny. Formerly one half of Game Master Monday, but the crew has gotten a lot bigger. But I am still going to be around. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I just also run this other game called Fire Emblem Fallen Kingdom over on Red Echo Games at youtube.com. We are in the middle of a now year-long campaign. This has been going on for a little over a year now. We got 30-some-odd sessions under our belt, and we're still going strong. We have political intrigue, anime references, Marth jokes. You know, if you've ever played Super Smash Bros. And wondered what the hell Fire Emblem is all about, I think Fallen Kingdom would actually be a pretty interesting, introduction to the franchise as a whole, because it's my interpretation of what Nintendo is trying to get up to. If you like religious intrigue with your political drama, there's some of that too. But, apart from that, Game Master Monday Presents will be back on May the 7th with The City I Love, It Speaks to Me, a 3-part series about noir detectives, the changing topography of our identities, and getting it on with a city. The series will be run by the game's creator Jellyfish Lines and stars Andy from Magnificence and Eli from Mayday.
That's my boy! Sorry.
That's the boy! Tune in on May 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Also, tomorrow's my birthday, so whatever. That's pretty cool too.
Jenny, I deadass thought you were younger than me.
I get that a lot. People talk to me and are like, wow, you like these things? What are you, 22? You've said skibbity on stream at
I thought you were
twice.
25. I mean,
Weird,
not
right?
22, 25, but...
No, I'm gonna be 31.
I'm still reeling. We were born in the same year.
Yeah, bizarre, 94, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has to wish happy birthday to Jenny in the chat.
Thanks, Lex.
Online.
Happy birthday.
Just yell it into the universe, and Jenny will feel it like you're doing a spirit bomb.
Oh God, Spirit Bomb of birthday. But thank you all very much for watching our little Q&A, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye, everybody.